Light. So I know I've probably said this before, but this is something I've definitely been excited to talk about and have been playing since its release almost 10 years ago. And so we are talking about Dying Light, which released back in 2015. And it's so crazy because all I can think is, wow, like, it was a year after I graduated high school. And give it a couple more, it's almost 2024, so, 9 years, almost 10, damn. And for a game that's that old, it still, in my opinion, holds up to this day. Graphically, gameplay-wise, all that. And when I think about zombie games, obviously I love Resident Evil 0, 1, 2, 3. Obviously great games, but when I think in more recent years, I think people had a great time with Dead Island. I mean, I had a good time with Dead Island, even Dead Island Riptide. But I remember seeing the trailer for Dying Light, the Good Night, Good Luck, where it plays the song from Woodkid, and just thought, wow, this looks like Dying Light, but more fast-paced. And you watch the trailer, because it wasn't a gameplay trailer, it was like a cinematic. You go, oh, I'm sure that's just for the trailer. I don't think I can actually run around like that in the game, like with most games. And then you see the gameplay trailer and you go, huh, it's a first-person parkour zombie action game. You go, huh, I've never played a game like that before. Obviously, I've played Assassin's Creed, but that's a third-person parkour. You go, man, first-person parkour? How's that going to work? And I remember, because I had just bought the Xbox One, and loaded it up, and at first I did not like the controls. I was not a fan. I was like, it's left bumper to kick, right bumper to you press down on the left thumbstick to run. I believe the left bumper is to kick, left trigger is to use, like, just throwing stars, stuff like that. Right trigger is to use your melee or fire a gun, and then you click down on the right analog stick to aim your gun. And I was just like, I don't like this. And honestly, it's one of those things where if I don't like the controls, it's going to be tough for me to fully get invested, which obviously most games you can remap the controls to your liking. But right when you start, I was like, wow, it just throws you in. You're Kyle Crane, voiced by, I believe his name is Roger Craig Smith, voice of Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 5, and Ezio Auditore. But, I mean, you're thrown right in. You're parachuting. You work for the government. Boom, you're in Haran, which is some poor Middle Eastern country, maybe. I don't want to necessarily specify. I mean, I guess I just did, but whatever it is, they make it look very, very god-awful. Which, side note, I have a Arabic friend, and, it's sometimes I'll ask questions like, a lot of these games and stuff portray, Arabic people in places is this just like an American thing to do that? Because it's so weird. And apparently, from what he said, a lot of video games and movies from America will just do like no research and make it look so shitty. But yeah, you go to Haran, fake city, shithole, zombies everywhere. You get bit, the guy saving you gets killed, the group takes you back, and now you're helping the survivors against both getting out of the city and then also fighting off, like I wouldn't say a Negan type character, but basically a terrorist kind of guy. I mean, he's killing people, he's torturing people, and so I would kind of call him that. But you start out, you talk to people, you're borderline beginning tutorial things. But then when you finally get to leave the building, you're just like, huh, can I go into these buildings? How much of that trailer was real where I can parkour? And let me tell you, you can fucking climb just about anything in this game. You're running, you're jumping, you're climbing, you're jumping from, bricks, little bricks hanging off windows to get to the roof. You're sliding down zip lines. You can do the whole slide cancel stuff. You can drop kick enemies. You can hold your fists up and punch through enemies. I mean, it's so many options on how to fight. And I wouldn't say it's an RPG kind of thing, but there is a skill tree that you slowly, like, it's not really a, oh, are you picking tree A or tree B? It's, hey, you got one more skill, so get the next skill in the thing, because there's 4 different skill trees that you get points for. Like there's the agility skill tree, which you get points for by doing stuff like parkour and doing it more intensely. There's the power, that is by fighting. Survivor, which you get from like helping people, doing certain missions, dropping off supplies with the quartermaster. So I do like that. But there's no really like, oh, well, what if I went with just that tree? I mean, I guess you could, but it's not like you're doing something really different skill-wise. You're just choosing not to have any skills. So, and I don't think they really tried selling themselves as like a RPG, because there's like no options, or anything. Like you go through the story, it's a predetermined storyline. There's no, oh, what if I, at the very end, did this? The story's pretty generic, honestly. It has some twists and turns where I'm definitely like, oh, that's fucking sad. That's intense. Didn't honestly see that coming twice. Which, if you haven't played the game, you'll understand eventually when you play the game. But yeah, it's the satisfaction of unlocking the drop kick, running, jumping, and drop kicking an enemy and watching them fly out the fucking map. You like The Walking Dead, you can cover yourself in zombie guts, sneak around, and you can do a takedown where it's insta-kill, break their neck. And it's kind of broken because you can just keep spamming it forever, basically. I mean, it's not like it wears off the guts camo by you doing the takedown. And so, I mean, you just go to one of the zombies you just killed, recover yourself in guts, and then you just start spamming insta-killing them. Or another thing you can do, which is go on like, a car, and zombies, they can climb on the car, but they're kind of stupid about it. You unlock this ability where if you're standing over an enemy, you can instantly kill them by stomping their head. And so if you go to a crowded area and you just stand at a car, you can just infinitely spam that and just get your shit going pretty quick. Which they obviously took out in the second game because it was so broken. But there's also a really cool day and night cycle. I think it actually lasts for like 15 minutes, nighttime maybe. It's not that long, honestly, but the whole thing is at night zombies are more crazy, and there are these super zombies. I'm drawing a blank, honestly, on their names, but yeah, basically will kill you in a couple hits, and you really need to think about how you're gonna fight them, or I mean, you're dead quick, because what they do is they shoot acid at you or hit you. And so if you try camping and shooting them, if they can still hit you at a range distance, they'll just spam that and kill you. And you die quick. It's definitely interesting. Like, I've been finding myself, I mean, I played on Xbox and now I'm playing on PC, but you get to a point where you feel comfortable enough to kind of start trying to, lure them out, do the traps. You can get, explosive arrows, electric arrows, UV lamps, things like that. That's another thing with this game. It's more melee focused. You can build the craziest melee weapons. I mean, electrical hammer or a sword with flames coming out of it. Acid. You can create guns as well. Guns are more of a secondary thing, but I will say, I think, because right now the definitive version is on sale for $10. I'd already bought the other one, Enhanced Edition maybe, or the following edition, whatever, but I bought the rest of the Definitive Edition, all the stuff I didn't have. And you look in your storage, and you just get all this shit, dude. Like, it kind of makes the game broken from the beginning, because it didn't take me long to get a shotgun and modify the shotgun. I just buy shotgun ammo, and I mean, it'll kill most enemies. It kills basic enemies in one hit, but bosses will die pretty fucking quick. So I've been able to save a lot of repair parts for the melee weapons, which the melee weapons, just like, well, I wouldn't say just like Dying Light, but you can repair your melee weapons only in X amount of times before it will fully break, and it can never be repaired again. So you kind of have to think and go about how you're going to do your melee weapons and which ones you really want to use, and maybe just save for bosses. But yeah, I mean, they released the DLC for it, The Following. I enjoyed it very well. Takes you to a different area post the main story or you know what? No, I'm sorry. I can't remember at what part of the game it takes place. I say post, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's now buggies, and so you can drive and upgrade the buggy. And it has a very interesting storyline. Definitely more interesting than the main storyline, because it goes full force, like, whoa, like fiction, like, ooh, this is mysterious. And that has a multiple choice ending where you're like, okay, these are two distinctively different things, which I enjoyed. They don't really, I don't think, tell you which one is canon in this second game. There's also the Hellraid DLC, where you play the arcade game Hellraid, but you're in the game. Same controls, but it's like a fantasy setting. It's pretty neat. I found it kind of boring that most of the enemies are just skeletons and nothing really changes besides that. I was hoping, you know, to some level it would be like Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep, where there'd be like, I don't know, at least 6 different kinds of enemies, something. It's interesting. Nothing too crazy, but I don't know. I mean, it's a fun game, and my friend actually just bought it, so we're about to do co-op. I had only done co-op with randoms way back in the day when it first came out on Xbox One. Super fun, mind you, which is nice that, you know, they give you a campaign that's playable with 4 characters, because it's a huge map, and there's parts where it would be great. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed Unity, you know, which I had fun with playing multiplayer on that. So I will say it's on Steam right now for $10. All DLC ever released. Go buy it, please. It's so fun. And I'm on there. You know, as I always say with these game videos, if you're on there, we can play. I'm down. You know, I find myself coming back to Dying Light over and over again because it's so fun. And I try so hard to get other people I know in my personal life to buy it, because I'm like, dude, $10, all DLC. It's a fun time. So I strongly recommend it. It's a fun FPS parkour zombie game. Hack and slash in a weird way, I would say. With guns, different enemy variety types, fun melee attack system, I guess is the best word I can think of. Just so worth it. I mean, you're getting the base game, everything that comes with that. You're getting the extra, I mean, not that I'm trying to act like it's justified, but, you know, this cool, you know, the other skins and stuff. More blueprints to build cool weapons, but you get the, you know, the cool ass DLCs. So you really just are missing out if you haven't given this game a chance. And finally, for me, I mean, after capping out at 100 hours right now in Remnant 2, I'm just cooling off a little bit and, you know, replaying like Dying Light and some other games. But strong recommend. Go buy it. It's so worth your time. Do yourself a favor, go buy it. That's going to be it for me for this video. I'm out.